Good evening. I just had a house announcement, and it's going to be your responsibility to share it with strangers that's around you. The ceremony is being streamed, live streamed, and how you get to that live stream, or you can share it with friends of yours, is you go to the TAMS website under academics, scroll down to graduation, and when you find that graduation link, there's a live streaming link on that spot. So TAMS, unt.edu, academics, you'll have graduation 2024. You hit that link, and then we'll show you all the details for graduation, and that'll have the live streaming link. So if somebody comes in and you're like, hey, I've got a piece of trivia that you don't know about, share that trivia with your neighbor. Thank you. Ladies and Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of North Texas Spring 2024 Commencement Ceremony for the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science. Yes. Our ceremony will begin in just a few minutes. Please take this opportunity to turn off all cell phones and other electronic devices. For the safety of our candidates and guests, only authorized press, university photographers, staff, and graduates are permitted on the stage. We hope you will remember this ceremony for many years to come. Because this is a special day for all our graduates, we ask that you stay until the end of the ceremony so that everyone will feel honored by your presence. Now, please stand as you are able for the platform party procession and the students' processional.
You may be seated. Good evening, and welcome again to the TAMS Class of 2024 graduation ceremony. I'm Glenison de Oliveira, Dean of the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Michael McPherson, UNT Provost, as he gives a welcome from the university.
Good evening. I am so glad to be here today to celebrate the TAMS class of 2024. TAMS has been an important and even integral part of the university for 37 years now. That's remarkable. Because of TAMS, UNT leads Texas universities, both public and private, in lifetime Goldwater scholars. Of course, as you know, these awards are among the most prestigious awards in the STEM fields at the undergraduate level. This year, students earned 2 more Goldwater scholarships, bringing the total to 73 such distinctions garnered by UNT over the years. We are delighted with the many achievements of this class in national and world competitions in physics, robotics, biology, and many other fields. But I should note that we don't see these as goals in and of themselves, but rather as indicators of the quality of education you have had at UNT. In other words, students, you have been blessed with a wonderful opportunity to nurture and develop your talents through TAMS. TAMS students certainly add to our intellectual community, and I'm delighted to further observe the positive spirit and passion of TAMS students as they participate in everyday life at UNT. Just as a single example, I understand McConnell has a strong presence in intramural competitions. You definitely put your hearts in all that you do. As driven as each of you is, we know that your success also depends on the support of friends, family members, classmates, faculty mentors, and advisors who have encouraged you and have mentored you all along the way. Students, let's take a moment to thank all of those people. We are honored that UNT has been a part of your journey to success, and we're happy that some of you have chosen to continue your education and research right here at UNT, taking advantage of the opportunity to study at a Tier 1 research university that has become a home to you. We wish success to each of you and hope that you will remember TAMS and UNT as a place where it all began. We are confident that you will continue to blaze new trails and make the world around you a better place. As you continue your pursuit of academic excellence and career achievements, remember that success is not just defined by what you do, by how far up you climb on the ladder, nor by how much money you might happen to make. Success is also defined by how you choose to leave your mark on humanity. As Albert Einstein said, strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Provost McPherson. After a busy and successful semester, in fact, after 2 years packed with accomplishments, we are elated to gather together for this time of celebration and recognition of a significant milestone in the lives of some extremely talented students. Welcome, parents, faculty and staff in the class of 2024 to this ceremony. You can find a link to the program at tams.unt.edu/graduation, along with a link to live streaming of the event. At this time, I would like to introduce our platform party. Please wave as a means of identifying yourselves. You have just met Provost McPherson on my left. Then we have Dr. Grace Paxson-Phipps, TAMS alumna, TAMS parent, and a pediatrician and owner of Pecan Tree Pediatrics. She is our keynote speaker today. Mr. Corbin Hambrick is our student speaker. And then we have Ms. Sharon Van, Associate Director of TAMS Admissions and Recruitment. To my right, we have Dr. James Duban, Associate Dean for Research and National Scholarships. Also, Kit Shattuck, Academic Advisor at TAMS. Ms. Sydney McInnes, Senior Academic Advisor at TAMS. Then Ms. Francine Hazy, Academic Counselor at TAMS. And Mr. Russ Stuckel, Assistant Dean for Student Life. And then we have Mr. Ben Warren, Assistant Director for Student Life. And we thank our illustrious faculty members who came to celebrate with us as well. So now please welcome Mr. Russ Stuckel.
I have the honor of introducing our student speaker for this evening, Mr. Corbin Hambrick. I realize I'm introducing him to two parties here, the students and the audience. The students will know Corbin as the president of Ignite. He was also the recipient of the Outstanding Leader Award at the rose cutting ceremony. I'm not sure what this means, but he's also a proud member of the Boys Floor Dancers featuring Twinkle Twinkle. And he is going to stay on the biology track and remain here at UNT. That's known to the student body. What's known to just his family, or possibly some close friends, Corbin was born in Honduras, speaks a second language, is fluent in Spanish. Prior to TAMS, his father was a little bit worried about Corbin's ambition, because as he was being homeschooled, he was usually a straight A student. For some reason, he was achieving a B. He was offered extra credit, and his mom said, "You're going to go for extra credit?" And Corbin's response was, "Nah, I'm good with a B." They did active hiking as family, and in fact, a pivotal moment in Corbin's life was when the family went to the Appalachian Trail and tackled the Appalachian Trail. And for those of you that aren't familiar with that, that's starting in Georgia, hiking north. Where do they end up, Corbin? Just give me the state, Corbin. Maine, there we go. So they hiked from Georgia to Maine. This is 2,200 miles of a hike. Usually takes about 6 months. The family, mom and dad, and 5 other little ones, Corbin being 9 years old when he took on this journey. And his dad said he carried his weight. Unbeknownst to me, when you're on the Appalachian Trail, you adopt an identity which is unique and I guess shared with other Appalachian Trail hikers. Corbin had the moniker of being Mud Magnet, and that's how he would introduce himself to everyone else on the trail. Dad said if there was mud, he was either walking through it or playing in it as they tread up the Appalachian Trail. When they finished 2,200 miles, they were celebrating as a family. Corbin was off to himself, a little bit despondent and depressed after the event. And Mom went to Corbin and said, "What's up?" And Corbin said, "I'm 9 years old, Mom, and I've peaked already in life." Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Corbin Hambrick.
Can everybody hear me okay? Perfect. Thank you, graduates, parents, grandparents, esteemed faculty and guests. And congratulations to the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science class of 2024. I'd like to say thank you to the student body and TAMS staff for giving me this opportunity. It's not often that somebody willingly hands me a microphone, so thank you for that. I hope it's worth the risk. I'd also like to thank my classmates, and that is my best friends, for being there for me to lean on and occasionally knock over and step on. Without you, I would not have stood as tall as I have. I'd like to thank my parents for giving me these short genetics, but also for providing me with the unwavering love and encouragement that has been the cornerstone of my success for years. Thank you, Mom and Dad. To my fellow students, and honestly to anyone here, I only want you to remember one thing about this speech, and that is that this too shall pass. And I don't just mean the speech, I mean in general, the concept, this too shall pass. Over the past year, I've been considering one question very deeply, and that is what makes TAMS TAMS? There are thousands of high schools across America. What makes us distinct, even dysfunctional or funky? I believe that the answer to that question is found in the concept, this too shall pass. If you indulge me, I'd like to explain by administering an IQ test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list off a string of letters, and your job is to remember as many of those letters as you possibly can. You guys ready? All right. J, K, F, J, B, I, N, O, T, B, S, A, S, I. Now, quietly into yourself, try and remember as many of those letters in order as you can. My guess is it's somewhere from 5 to 7. If so, congratulations, your memory is officially average. But the test isn't done yet, okay? I'm going to give you those same letters, just in a reversed order. Let's try it again. JFK, FBI, IRS, NATO, NASA. Now how many did you remember? You are at TAMS. My hope is the answer to that question is all of them. So what's the lesson? Well, in both scenarios, I presented you with the exact same letters. So why did you only remember them this second time? Well, you remembered them because they meant something to you. And so the lesson lies. What has meaning matters. What does not have meaning will pass. See, many schools are like one extremely long string of letters. If taken as given, you'll remember a couple of them, but for the most part, nothing will matter. But TAMS has somehow taken that string of letters and reorganized them into a shape that means something. And so it leaves a legacy on us and on every class who's come before us. Maybe we've arrived back at the original question of what makes TAMS TAMS? How did we take the letters TAMS and reorganize them into something that had meaning? Surely, you might say, the answer is in the academics and research. That was my first impulse. After all, TAMS has more Goldwater awards than Taylor Swift has X's. Academics is definitely a focal point of TAMS, and I remember in the first year, it was not uncommon for students to dream about their upcoming exams. I remember waking up in the middle of the night to my poor roommate, talking in his sleep, having some sort of revelation about 4,5-dimethylbenzoic acid. And after every major exam, it was like we went through the 5 stages of grief, right? Denial that we could have messed up that badly, anger at ourselves for procrastinating, bargaining with our professors at office hours, depression, and finally acceptance that we'll never get into the colleges that we actually wanted to. All of that only to get our class average back and realize it's a 98. But although the academics felt like they meant something, the fact of the matter is that those tests have passed. Well, most of us passed them, some of us failed, but for the most part, we've passed. And not to undermine the exams or count them as useless, but I doubt that scores are the element of TAMS that we'll most remember or treasure. That's because academics, well, they too shall pass. Possibly the meaningful things came through all of the happiness it gave us. Many of us spend our lives searching for that very thing, the keys to happiness. And we did have our happy days. The week that snow delayed all of our classes, the Pokeries productions, every time seminar was canceled, or virtual. Maybe those memories hold the answer. And I know this might sound odd, but I would actually argue the opposite, that happiness is not, well, happiness alone at least, is not the key to meaning. In fact, I would argue that happiness and meaning are often directly opposed. Here's an example. Let's say that your friend is distraught. They've just gone through something truly traumatic and they need someone to talk to. Would you avoid their unhappiness to try to preserve your own? Seeing your best friend in that state can be heartbreaking. Why sacrifice your own happiness for them? We do it because it matters, because they matter to you. I've seen this type of care countless times in McConnell Hall. If your choice is between happiness and meaning, which do you choose? And admittedly, that is a principle that is a lot easier to understand than it is to follow, and one that I break fairly frequently. Either way, happiness cannot be responsible for the meaning at TAMS because that too shall pass. So what now? It's not the academics or the happiness. What creates meaning? As I was thinking about it, I considered that maybe if we're considering the essence of everything, the answer isn't confined to TAMS. Maybe the answer is something far more fundamental. What if the answer is life itself? It's the most basic building block of the human experience. Wouldn't something so important bring meaning in us? Recently, two of my family members passed away. And last month, my real estate professor actually had an unexpected heart attack and also passed away. And it shook me. And it got me thinking about all of us, the meaning of life. Whether I like it or not, life is not going to be forever. 80, 90 years from now, every single one of you, dead, coffin, cremated, Queen Elizabeth. The fact of the matter is that life is a fleeting thing. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "What is your life? You are like a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes." Vanishes. If what matters lasts, can life possibly bring meaning? Think of it this way. In the same way that adding 20 minutes to the speech would not make it more impactful, so having an extra long life, while it may be desirable, doesn't necessarily mean you'll have meaning. It just, to go back to the analogy before, gives you a longer string of letters. It doesn't necessarily reorganize them. Because life, well, that too shall pass. It's not the academics, it's not happiness, not even life itself. So what brings us meaning? Well, by process of elimination, I think the answer is clear. It's the people. Without a doubt, my most treasured memories of TAMS were forged at 2 a.m. working through TAMS struggles side by side with my friends. Because the truth is that life is hard. TAMS was hard. Life is at times unhappy. TAMS was at times unhappy, but nothing worth doing is guaranteed to be easy. What makes TAMS TAMS? The people. TAMS didn't inject me with happiness, it didn't fill me with joy all the time. And the people at TAMS, you know, can be very challenging. Why? Because we matter. We matter to each other. I don't mean to force my beliefs on anyone, but I do believe that something out there, something bigger than us, something bigger than space, time, and matter, has placed us all together. Each person with the purpose of making an impact in another. Some call it the universe, but I call it God, and I thank him every day for placing me with the people that he has at TAMS. And I say the people. Some of those people are my best friends. Others have taught me what it means to deal with difficult people. But without them, I believe that TAMS would have become entirely meaningless. No matter what I say, many in this room will continue to live their lives with the dominant success metric of happiness, wealth, or even health. But I would warn you that these two things too shall pass. And if we don't understand that, if we don't get that into our heads, that these things can just vanish, then we could very easily spend our entire lives living in a specific way, to where at our funerals, our loved ones are forced to give eulogies that sound a lot like an unremarkable string of letters. This too shall pass. As you leave this room, get congratulated by your friends, your family, delete iClicker. Be proud of your accomplishments. But I also want you to remember that almost everything, the publications, the club drama, the efforts to not get docked, and not to minimize it, but even this diploma will pass. However, the memories that you have, the meaning that you can achieve through making an impact on those whom you've been placed with, that will never pass. Thank you. In light of that, there's a little something that Russ does not know we are doing.
Oh, no.
But, would you mind standing over here? If we're talking about people who have made an impact on us and on TAMS, Russ Stuckel, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to embarrass you for a second.
It's not in the script, brother.
Yeah, I know. I talked to Dr. Dale about it. So basically, Russ is retiring this year. And like I said, like people who have created meaning, if you ask the question, what makes TAMS TAMS? In terms of at least admin, Russ Stuckel is the person who comes to mind. Because of how much, good morning. Because of how much a difference that he has made on us. And I'm going to say a couple of words and then I have something for you. But as a student body, we wanted to come together to honor him. And TAMS, it's a funny thing because you send us off in our developmental years to a place with very little parental oversight. But in a lot of ways, Russ has acted as a father figure for many of us. And laughed with us when we needed laughing with, and cried with us when we needed to cry, and at times, when necessary, even reproached us. And I could not imagine what it's like to be you, to walk on a Monday morning and just hear problems. The students are giving you more and more problems. And for you to still come into every meeting with the amount of respect and love for us that you do is truly, truly amazing. And we do some odd stuff. I mean, there was counterfeiting currency at one point, filling your bathtub with ramen noodles. That was, you put up with a lot, Russ.
Fake news.
But you have the ability to take tense situations and to turn them into laughter, and to make us smile, and to make us feel loved for and cared for. And actually, I asked a student who was, shall we say, reprimanded by you as recently as yesterday morning to describe you. And he said this: talking to Russ has been the highlight of my TAMS career. Every interaction with him has been nothing but sweet. And so if the people who are theoretically on your bad side say that about you, what does that say about who you are? So as students, we pulled together to get a little bit of a present for you. And I want to preface this gift by saying that we tried to get something that only the students could give you. So I have to duck under the table for a second. It's a goat. For those of you who are unfamiliar, GOAT is slang. It's an acronym for greatest of all time. And that's what you are to us. And for reference, Russ has been serving TAMS for about twice as long as I've been alive. And that's meant to be a sweet thing, Russ. That's meant to be a sweet thing. Yeah, and I guess the symbol of the goat, it's in a bit funny, but it's not meant to trivialize the moment. It's meant to say, we're not going to be using that slang 5-10 years from now. But we're not trying to give you this gift 5-10 years from now. We're trying to give you this gift as who we are, as a student body, right now on this day, to commemorate and say that we love you and we care about you, and we hope that the next season of your life is even half as good to you as you have been to us. So it's engraved with your name on the bottom. We signed all of it. As many signatures as we could fit. Not everybody got to sign. But yeah, would you guys join me in thank you?
Very much. Go ahead, brother. Get your stuff. Thank you. Yikes. There are times when I talk to students, and it sounds weird, and in today's culture, sometimes we can't say this. But there are many times where I tell students, I love you, right? And they'll say, yeah, with a curious look. And I said, but today I want to choke you. And they know what that means. And it's usually because they've overstepped. And I'll say, I love you, but God bless America, I want to choke you today. And they know I know what I did, and tomorrow I'm promising to be a better person. And then I always try to end it with, I love you though. And they say, yeah. And we let them go, and we let them go from this. So I've always loved it here. It's hard to love the students at the same time, to let them go. And so it's so fantastic to see you come back. So just want to give you that to come back. And thank you to the parents. I got to get out of here. Please welcome Dr. Dubin, who's going to introduce our keynote speaker. Dr. Dubin.
Thank you, Russ. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Dr. Grace Pexon Phipps is a TAMS class of 1995 graduate. She earned a BA in biology at UT Austin, worked in pharmaceutical research, and then earned her medical degree from the Texas A&M Health Science Center College of Medicine. Following that distinction, she completed her pediatric residency training at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. She was thereafter an assistant professor of pediatrics at UT Southwestern and also a pediatric hospitalist, that is, a physician who exclusively practices hospital medicine at Children's Medical Center in Dallas and Plano. She has since opened Pecan Tree Pediatrics with multiple offices in the Dallas and Fort Worth area. She also serves as a clinical assistant professor of pediatrics with the Texas A&M School of Medicine. Beyond her endeavors in the medical profession, Dr. Pexon Phipps has commercial and residential real estate properties that she owns and manages throughout Texas and Hawaii. Dr. Pexon Smith resides just outside of Dallas with a son at home, a daughter at Stanford University, and another son currently attending TAMS. She is also a mom to a large black lab and a small Great Dane. In her spare time, she is an avid reader, enjoys traveling, and loves attending and supporting theater, anything musical, and the performing arts more broadly. In sum, Dr. Pexon Phipps embodies the scientific acumen, the holistic education and development, and the concern for people and humanity that are the hoped-for outcome of a TAMS education. Would you join me in welcoming Dr. Pexon Phipps to the podium?
Good evening, everyone. And again, congratulations to the class of 2024. It's hard for me to believe that I graduated from the Texas Academy of Math and Science 29 years ago. Standing before you, I feel like I have the opportunity to speak to my 18-year-old self. 18-year-old Grace Pexon sat, as you all are seated now, beside friends that I lived with for 2 years, experiencing an education and connections that few ever have the chance to have. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? Well, the first thing I would tell her is that she would not believe it, but almost 30 years later, Russ Stuckel would still be at TAMS, face and hair unchanged from when he was Student Activities Coordinator in 1993 when I first met him. And I say this because I have the opportunity to publicly thank Russ for his 35 years of service to TAMS and for making a difference and positive impact in so many students' careers and lives, including my own. I get to thank him for not kicking me and my boyfriend out of school, because I would later marry that boyfriend from TAMS and we would have 3 children, one of whom he closely mentored and sent off to Stanford, and another who might have given him a few more gray hairs than he previously had. Russ, a million thank yous. I love those words, thank you. Of course, I would tell her to be grateful. Being grateful keeps us humble. It reminds us that we did not get to where we are today without the help of others. Take time tonight to thank your parents. They sacrificed 2 years that they should have had at home with you. And as many of you know, my son is in the class of 2025, and I have missed his presence in my home for the last year. We, and by that I mean us parents, have watched you guys excel at school, win spelling bees and math competitions, get on the honor roll, and set yourselves to a standard that far exceeds that of most students. Often your desires for that highest achievement and best impression meant late night trips to Michael's, late nights of peeking in your rooms to find you studying, and late nights waiting for you after your performances, competitions, and games. We were and are your forever cheerleaders. We hoped you would excel, we celebrated your achievements, and yes, we even mourned the grades or news you didn't want or expect. We celebrated your acceptance into TAMS, even though we knew your bedroom would be empty, and you wouldn't need us so much anymore to help guide you, and we wouldn't be there to make sure you ate before that big test, and we wouldn't be there to make sure, and we wouldn't be there right there waiting for you to tell us how your presentation went. We worried that you wouldn't adjust well or make friends, and that you might find that first love and maybe even break up with him or her, and we wouldn't be there to hug you and make things better. And yet, despite all of our worries, here you all are, having successfully passed all those tests, made those friends, and you're ready to embark on your next big step in life, diploma in hand. Now, before I forget, in order for you guys to get your diplomas, your parents have settled up your tuition bills. So please thank them. The emotional and financial burden that we have carried is not insignificant, but I promise all of us would do it again because there is no love and pride greater than that which we have for you, our children. 18-year-old Grace, when you were at TAMS, your dream was to become a pediatrician, and I'm thrilled to tell you we did it. The key to her success will be to take the risk, the calculated risk. There will be many decisions and opportunities that arise for you, and many of the paths will take you out of your comfort zone. Consider them. My path in life started with a fair amount of predictability. I graduated from UT Austin. I went to medical school at A&M, where, by the way, in my class of 64 medical students, 4 of us were from TAMS, and we are still incredibly close personally and professionally today. I thought for sure I would end up at a pediatric residency program in Dallas, where my then fiance lived. However, my interview trail led me to Vanderbilt, half a country away from my family, and without a great plan for my fiance, if I were to be accepted there. This was the first of many difficult choices, and one that set me on a path that I would not have anticipated. At that point, I wanted to be a pediatric inpatient hospitalist, and Vanderbilt had one of the few programs at that time. I ranked Vanderbilt as my first choice, and I was accepted. I still fondly recall that time as one of the best times in my life. Now, while there, my advisor advised me to take a once-a-week preceptorship with his wife, an outpatient pediatrician who owned her own practice, just so I could see both the inpatient and outpatient side of general pediatrics. I really didn't want to, but I did it, and I learned everything I could about the nuances and business side of outpatient medicine. But I remember thinking, never in a million years would I do this boring job, but I made the most of it. And after residency, I moved back to Dallas and worked at UT Southwestern and Children's Medical Center. But I did not love the culture of academic politics. And despite this being what I thought was my dream job, I left to join a small hospitalist group servicing one floor at a community hospital. This job hardly had the spark of professional joy that I wanted, and I craved more. I was fortunate to be presented with an opportunity to partner in a startup private hospitalist group. It was me and one other female physician. I would have to decide between a very nice six-figure salary with a predictable schedule or no guaranteed income, being on call every other weekend, and being called to the hospital at all hours of the day and night. And I chose the latter. It was a huge financial risk, and the hours were grueling, and we soon learned that this would be unsustainable. I guess this is where I would tell 18-year-old me and all of you that you're gonna fail sometimes, and it's gonna feel like it's not okay, and maybe it isn't, but you have the power to change that trajectory. We had hospitals that weren't paying us, we were working shifts at urgent care to supplement our income, and one day I said to my business partner, why don't we open an outpatient clinic? The hours will be better, we'll be in charge of our income, and we get to cultivate the culture of our company. We opened our first clinic with one doctor, one front desk person, one medical assistant, and 0 patients. And in the last 15 years, we have grown it to be one of the largest pediatric clinics in DFW, with 3 locations employing 12 physicians and over 50 employees. I would say to my 18-year-old self that your professional success would be a direct result of taking calculated risks, sharp business acumen, treating every patient with new and focused clinical attention, and always considering the perspective of your patients, peers, and employees. And in my next breath, I would remind her that there is more to life than just pursuing career goals and professional achievements. I have never regretted changing from an inpatient career to owning an outpatient practice. This allowed me to spend quality time with my family, spending weekends and holidays with friends and family doing the things that we love. I would tell my 18-year-old self that her now 20-year-old daughter would tell her and all of you to live life. Explore your community, volunteer, and go on mission trips, and if you have the means, travel. And be present in those moments. Put your phones down and create core memories that you can pull up in your mind at any time. I truly believe that human kindness comes from being able to connect with others and understand socioeconomic and cultural differences, and one of the best ways to do that is to immerse yourself in those communities and cultures. More than just the memories and experiences you will gain perspective that makes us all better humans. After I graduated from TAMS, it only took me 3 semesters to graduate from UT Austin. I was 19 and I could have gone straight to medical school, and this was a time when gap years were not in vogue, and everyone expected that I would. I did not. I worked in pharmaceutical research, made enough money to support myself, and I traveled. And I've continued to travel over the last 30 years, bringing my children with me and fostering their love of experiences over material gifts. Here at home, we are active members of the Hawaiian community in DFW, dancing hula and spreading aloha all over Texas. Most recently, our family has devoted much of our time volunteering for and attending experience camps, an organization that is very near and dear to our hearts. I serve on their medical advisory board and cherish my time as a camp physician in Pennsylvania. My daughter has been a camp counselor in California, and my sons have attended camp in Michigan. Each summer, at various locations across the country, for 1 week, experience camps brings together children who have had profound loss, such as that of a sibling or parent. TAMS class of 1994 recently celebrated their 30-year class reunion in Denver. One of the alumni who was not there was Josh Phipps, fondly nicknamed Ogre by his classmates here at TAMS. That nickname stuck with him his whole life and even after his death. He was a leader and a very well-liked student here at TAMS, well, by his classmates at least. He was a senior when I was a junior, and due to a few issues that landed him in Russ's office back in the day, he was restricted from entering beyond the sidewalk of McConnell Hall my senior year. And now that you all are joining me as alumni, find me later and I'll tell you why, and maybe some other stories from my time at TAMS. Josh Phipps led a life that personified everything I mentioned previously. He took the risk, loved his family and friends unconditionally, and sought success with the tenets of passion and perspective. Because of our time at TAMS, where knowledge was grown and innovation cultivated, he has an unforgettable and impactful legacy. His contributions to both small and large corporate digital marketing and software platforms that he developed are still being used today, not to mention the TAMS family legacy we have with Mina and Benjamin. Obviously, if he hadn't met me at TAMS, that legacy would not exist. Long after his death, he will always be remembered for his professional and personal impact, all of which was rooted in his time at TAMS. To my 18-year-old self and all of you, I leave you with this last bit of advice. The life that lies ahead of you cannot be planned perfectly or predicted today. You will absolutely experience successes and likely a few failures. There will be friendships made and friendships that dissolve. I suspect you will fall in love, and unfortunately, there may be love loss and loss of loved ones. When your path is uncertain or you're not sure what your next step should be, consider love. Let love be what leads you. Be passionate, whether it's personal or professional, and pursue your passions by considering what you love and why you love. Seek the knowledge and advice from those who love you, and remember those that you love when decisions are challenging. In doing so, you keep those who have your best interest at heart close, and you keep the hearts of others in mind as well. You never have to do what anyone else tells you to do, but the perspective of others is invaluable. And above all, love yourself. You control your destiny, and in 29, 30, or 35 years from now, when you look back at how you've lived your life, I want you to be proud of and feel good about every decision you've made. I, everyone at TAMS, friends, family, and of course your parents, are excited for today and what lies ahead for each of you. You have the power to be impactful in your personal lives, in our communities, and if you so choose, globally. Congratulations, TAMS, class of 2024. Get out there and create a legacy you love. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace, for those words. You're going to indulge me while we're on that subject of love. And today is about the graduates. Sunday is about your mothers. Don't forget, Mother's Day is on Sunday. And we're going to take 10 seconds to applaud those moms in this building right now. I'm fortunate enough to work within student life, and we've got some student life members here, so you'll need to indulge me. I want to recognize the team that I work with because I'm very proud to be part of that team. You guys are sitting in the back. Please stand. Staff members. Yes. Ben. Remain standing. Stand up. Take in the love. You guys are doing room checks. You're doing wing meetings. You're supporting the programs that students put together. You're going to and presenting and organizing the prom, the after prom, the senior day, the rose cutting, runs to the hospital, driving for community service, flying to Boston to accompany students, driving to Louisiana to dominate other academies and athletic events, driving to multiple competitions around the state of Texas. Speaking of driving, Ben calculated 28,453 miles driven by those individuals in the back. Safely, I would like to add. And thank God that's your responsibility now, Ben, not mine. Numerous phone calls to the front desk. Haley and all the staff members and Rain taking those phone calls at the front desk. Jenny Lynn following up on medical reports. An outstanding job. And again, please indulge me. We have 4 of those that are graduating as well. So they'll be walking this weekend as UNT graduates. Thank you, staff. Okay, that's all the love you get. Sit down. I wish to draw your attention to the graduation program found at tams.unt.edu/graduation. And I'm going to ask these students to rise and remain standing until I finish. Sanjana Anand, Joanna Fong, Anna Hung, no, don't hold off, Sonia Lemke, Matthew Lee, Alicia Madhuvarsi, Manan Patel, Harini Rajmohan, Ethan Robello, Simran Verma, Olivia Wang, Samantha Wise, and Claire Hsu. These students are representing the Gold Cord recipients this year, a symbolic active citizenship to the Academy. Students seeking the Gold Cord must participate in community service from the time they arrive in their first semester to the final spring of their second semester, averaging roughly 25 hours each semester. Students are encouraged and selected on developing community service opportunities that will benefit TAMS, UNT, or Denton. The goal of the program is to encourage students to implement community service in their weekly schedules while at TAMS. The minimum number of hours to be standing here is to have 100 by April 10th of their second year. The minimum GPA is to have a 3.25. In addition to these 2 categories, students must apply and submit an application that is reviewed not only by staff, but also fellow students. Having over 100 hours of community service and a 3.2 GPA and good behavior does not guarantee this award. Again, we say that they go above and beyond. Please join me in recognizing these outstanding students. You may be seated. On the final page of the program are descriptions of 3 honors that we recognize in the academic realm of the Academy. Academic distinction based on GPA. Students who have completed the requirements for each of these honors are identified in the electronic program. Please join me in congratulating, there's 3 levels within that. Please join me in congratulating those students for academic distinctions. Go ahead and stand if you got those academic distinctions. You know it. Go ahead, Arjun. You were going to stand. Yeah. He's the only one? Oh, my gosh. I know Arjun wasn't the only one. The rest of you are too sheepish or clueless about what your GPA was at this point. So maybe you're just holding on to the very end. But again, congratulations, graduates. At this time, please welcome Dr. De Oliveira back to the lectern.
Thank you, Russ. At this time, will the marshals please lead the class of 2024 to the stage? Officers and dignitaries on the stage are happy to congratulate you with a handshake when you cross the stage. Families, please remain in your seats. and allow us to provide you with a time to enjoy watching your students receiving their diploma. We will take the photo on stage of your student and provide it to you later on our website at no cost. If you must take photos, please turn off your flash and remain in your seats. In addition, there will be stations in the lobby for you to take photos after the ceremony. In the 1980s, Dr. Julian Stanley, a Johns Hopkins scholar at the Center for Talented Youth, had been envisioning how to combine lessons from educational studies over the years into what could be the best possible environment for talented teenagers to experience intellectual and personal growth. Dr. Stanley's dream was embraced by Dr. James Miller, the Dean of the College of Education right here at UNT. He developed a proposal for a residential STEM academy at UNT where high-achieving students of high school age would take advanced college classes, conduct research, and have a residential experience that would foster personal growth and develop leadership skills. This academy was to offer the best possible holistic education to these students with interest in STEM fields. The president of the university was Dr. Alfred Hurley. He engaged the legislature, who passed a statute on June 23rd, 1987. And the rest is history. TAMS was created 37 years ago. The first class started in 1988 and graduated in 1990. We are now celebrating our 35th graduating class. This class has done very well in STEM in many areas, in spite of the many challenges that face the students today. These students were the first to return to the normal flow of McConnell Hall, with a senior class that had actually spent a full year in McConnell Hall. They have maintained our long-standing tradition of being contributive through scholarship and service and being an amazingly supportive and welcoming community. We are very proud of you, class of 2024. At this junction, I invite Dr. McPherson, Dr. Dubin, Ms. Van, Kid Shattuck, and faculty members on the platform to join me in receiving the class of 2024, while Mr. Stuckel will introduce the graduates.
Presenting Mr. Corbin Hamrick, a four-time presidential list recipient. Beneath Adari, Gold Presidential Volunteer Service Award recipient. Umesh Varma Adluru. Anvita Agrawal, Vice President of the McConnell Hall Association. First place on the Fort Worth Science Fair Electrical Mechanical Engineering. Published 2 papers in the International Solid Freeform Fabrication Symposium. Hannah Ahn, Computer Science Organization Cybersecurity Committee Head and a National Cyber Scholar with honors. Sanjana Anand, Adopt Fusion and Girl Up Executive. Ayomede Bangwala, National College Match recipient, TAMS Culinary Society Logistics Supervisor, and a Slamped champion. Arjun Singh Bawija, a Profile Theater Director and UNT President List recipient. Nathan Beard, Texas State Science Fair finalist. Akanksha Bedapeta, a Teens Tech Technology Texas chapter president, How to Save 8 Lives at Once podcast host, and an American Red Cross youth volunteer specialist. Pranathi Reddy Baram, TAMS class of 2000 Perseverance Scholarship, National Speech and Debate Association National Qualifier, and a 3 times President's Volunteer Service Award Gold recipient. Surya Sai Badanipati, Sruthi Baruth Kumar, Meredith Braun, President of the TAMS Sports Club. Andrew Kai, Sonakshi Chakrabarthi, a Profile President. Allison Pognanimo Chow, Biomedical Engineering Research State Finalist, won first place in the prototype and DEI categories at the TAMS Hackathon, and a co-founder of the TAMS Rock Climbing Club. Anika Cheberlu, Judicial Board Executive, Society of Women and Engineers Committee Head, and the Tom Weiner Scholarship recipient. Tony Chen, Robotics Programming Captain. Valerie Chang, the Newman Foundation Scholarship recipient and a President's List recipient. Ananya Chudurupulai, Classical Dance Captain of TAMS Docs Fusion, Project Smile Social Coordinator, and the Girl Up Social Coordinator. Lillian Sophia Cohen, Nikhil Copeland, President of the UNT Genetics Society, a National Merit Finalist, and the football captain. Krishnan Dash, co-founder of the TAMS Space Society, International Space Settlement Design Competition runner-up, and the McConnell Hall Association Executive Officer. Rohit Devolapalli, former Ambassadors Executive and a Pokri Dance Group member. Rayad El-Kodi, cardiac physiology researcher, McConnell Hall Association treasurer, and a President's List recipient. Ethan L. Zayati, logistics director of Profile and a senior mentor. Luis Espinoza, robotics engineering captain, aerospace construction and engineering society competitions coordinator. Pratika Eswaran, Alexander Evangelopoulos, director of the TAMS Jazz Ensemble, president and founder of the TAMS Investment Group, and the co-captain of the TAMS basketball team. Joanna Fang, a Dole Rower vice president and tutor for underserved children, over 70 hours of service. Daniel Fu, He's an Eagle Scout, a TAMS Mu Alpha Theta treasurer, and the TAMS badminton captain. Josh Gandhi, USA Biology Olympiad semifinalist and an EMT certified. Ria Garg, Research Science Institute scholar, Mu Alpha Theta, and Student Council president, Regeneron Science Talent Search scholar. Rosine George, harpist of the UNT Harp Ensemble, TAMS Girl Up president, and the TAMS Medical Society social coordinator. Saseha Gatti, Intergirls chapter head, American Invitational Mathematics Exam qualifier. Sarang Goel, Regeneron STS finalist, a barium Goldwater scholar, and selected to the Research Science Institute. Rifa Gowani, published in 5 international journals and awarded a utility patent. Co-authored cardiac anatomy book alongside a cardiologist for the American Academy of CPR. Samayu Gudipati, TAMS tennis captain, researched graph anonymization networks, qualified to DECA International. Rohan V. Gunalapudi, undergraduate research, Hoofbeats committee head, and Invoke fundraising committee head. Emily Guo, member of the Atkins Research Group and the TAMS Academic Society vice president. Zadie Guo, Aisha Gupta, International Dick Edwards Award by National Space Society, and a Bollywood captain for the TAMS Docked Fusion. Alexander H. Howe, Khan Thien Dominique Hong, founder of the Intel Youth Volunteering at Calhoun Middle School, founder of the TAMS Boys Volleyball Program. Kiefer Huang, sports club vice president, undergraduate researcher working on protein ligand interactions and drug delivery systems, taught English to kids in Taiwan over the summer. Chloe Huang, Anna Hung, 4-time President's List recipient and a national fencer. Jenna Ibarra, a Vibe president and an ambassador's executive. Bela Jare, Connell Hall Association executive. Marissa Jones, Joe Joseph, founder of the Pokeries Dance Club, TAMS Academic Society treasurer. There you go. Oh, Pradhumanathan Kandi, a senior mentor, Harvard MIT Mathematics Tournament, a participant in the Mu Alpha Theta Executive Officer Group. Trisha Kandi, analytical chemistry researcher with 5 co-authored publications, recipient of the Anil Svetlana Krishnan Exceptional Student Scholarship and a UNT President's List recipient. Ryan Kapil, a UNT undergraduate research fellow. Phoebe Kim, Jay Kim, a senior mentor, president of the TAMS Aerospace Construction and Engineering Society. Naehyung Kim, or better known as Jennifer, delivered the speech You're Telling Me a Rose cut this speech at the TAMS Circuit 2024 Rose Cutting Ceremony. Shreyas Kutla, 2023 Asset Student Research Champion, qualified for the 2024 ACM Student Research Competition Grand Finals, faces president and founder of the Pokeries Dance Group. Akhil Krishnamurthy, TAMS Ballot Director of Events. Om Salesh Kulkarni, UT Southwestern Stars Researcher, TAMS Medical Society Vice President and Executive of the Year. Sahaj Kumar, Ambassadors Executive Officer, 2023 Assets Conference Student Research Champion and 2024 ACM Grand Finals Qualifier, member of the Pokeries Dance Group. Shravan Kumar. Here's another founder of the Pokeries Dance Group and an Eagle Scout. Shreya Kumar conducted biology research with zebrafish, named the national winner of the 2023 Congressional Art Competition. Ashmit Kampala, data ethics research, Invoke Social Chair Committee Head, and the student mentor at the GeoEd Foundation. Mad Kundi, undergraduate research on animal physiology, president of the McConnell Association, and a two-time UNT President's List recipient. Sophie Law, political science research fellow, director of outreach for Ballad, summer intern at the Women's Foundation in Hong Kong. Sonia Lemke, President's List all 4 semesters and over 100 hours of community service. Jonathan Leong, President's List for all 4 semesters. Matthew Joel Lee, organized in-school and math extensions at Evers Park Elementary, USA Physics Olympiad, silver medalist, and Texas All-State Symphony Orchestra cellist. Mr. Victor Lin, president of the UNT Mathematics Club, qualifier of the USA Junior Mathematics Olympiad, honorable mention at the USA Physics Olympiad. Robin Longley, 2023 Base Gold Seal winner. Alicia Mudavarshi, founder and president of TAMS chapter of nonprofit Toolbox and the Invoke president. Vikram Mahalingam received the President's Volunteer Service Award, Functional Genomics, undergraduate researcher at UT Austin, first place in the 2022 Texas Science Olympiad State Tournament in the event Ping Pong Parachute. Rishab Malindi, Ayushman Baren Malik, Sriporna Modagula, events coordinator for FACES, outreach coordinator for Girl Up, and a research assistant in the Responsible AI Lab. Gotham Mohenraj, FACES treasurer, conducted research and developed an arrhythmia classification model from the human stem cells accepted by the MRS to present at the manuscript on optimization models. Sarah Moray, competitions director for JETS. Ramya Motati, a Barry M. Goldwater scholar. Neha Nayak, an Eagle Scout, early summer research scholar, and undergraduate research fellow. Abigail Naan, president of the TAMS Culinary Society, logistics director of TAMS Ballot completed over 150 community service hours. Iris Wynn, the Jets president and also a senior mentor. Gabriel Nee, the Jets community service director, a volleyball captain, and a senior mentor. Sadie Ostrowicki, the youngest Hillel president, developmental physiology TAMS researcher, and a Dean's List recipient. Glenn Adiola Owens, TBSU student leader, Pokeries performance member, and a physics tutor. Frosana Padmanathan, USA Biology Olympiad semifinalist, a TAMS tennis captain, and developmental physiology researcher. Kapil Panda, 8 first author research publications, and an owner of 2 patents. Hasika Pasham, Project Smile member and a political science tutor. Krish Patel, Computer Science Organization President. Manan Patel, the Hope Vice President, Driving Tomorrow Volunteer Coordinator, and the Tom Weiner Scholarship recipient. Deepti Patil, Meghna Penamudi, Regional Hockaday Brain Bee winner and a senior mentor, TAMS Ambassador Marketing Coordinator. Aryan Pillai, TAMS Medical Society Treasurer, a football captain, and a Revive Committee Head. Sampada Prakash, 2 astrophysics research co-authorships, Presidential Volunteer Service Award, and Gold and Silver, Computer Science Organization Hackathon Director. There you go. Tejas Rajagopal, Political Science Researcher, Vice President of Ballot, and a summer intern with the U.S. Congressman. Roshan Shankar Rajan. Harini Rajmohan, recipient of the Gold President's Volunteer Service Award, TAMS Business Organization Vice President, Committee Head of Denton Nursing Home. Baruni Ramasamy, over 100 hours of volunteer service. Sanjana Ramaneni, National Merit Scholar and ISEF qualifier. Lasya Ravi, TAMS Vibe Executive Officer, hosted the Winter Bash with Project Smile. Maheth Ravulalapati, founder of the Pokeries Dance Club, Hope Treasurer, and a bronze medalist in the IGEM Research Competition. Ethan Aditya Rabello, won 4th on the Math and National Geographic Prize at ISEF. Veda Reddy, Hanbin Richards, Dole Roar President and a senior mentor. Sporty Sarasaf Oni, TAMS Medical Society Executive and a TAMS Driving Tomorrow Executive and a senior mentor. Shreyas Silish, Texas PEC Soul Undergraduate Presenter, TJAS 3rd Grand Prize winner and a founder of the Pokeries Dance Club. Alan Samanidi, placed 4th in the International Marketing Event at DECA and researched a virtual human application to train doctors on insomnia patient interactions and a National Merit finalist. Preston Wen Savage. Nikita Shunmugam, president of Project Smile, founded the chapter of nonprofit to advocates for the humanitarian and environmental issues, or received an undergraduate research fellowship. Sonia Sheth, the TAMS Academic Society tutoring coordinator and a Driving Tomorrow director of operations. Saksham Shori, computer science organization executive and basketball captain, the Tom Weiner and Julian C. Stanley Scholarship recipient. Ishan Singh, a 2 times NASA ISSS DC recipient, USA CO Silver recipient, and a National Spanish Exam Gold medalist. Nehal Singh, a research organization Aspire Director, International Space Settlement Design Competitions runner-up. Aditya Singarikanda, TAMS Business Organization Treasurer and a 3-time President's List recipient. Charchit Sisoda, Chess Club Executive, received an undergraduate research fellowship and the President's List recipient. Sophia Song, a 4-time President's List recipient. Nikhil Sunkavali, National Merit Finalist, a Robotics Logistics Director, and an Eagle Scout. Alexander La Tandon, Pradyum Tandra, a Pokeries Dance Club member, National Merit Finalist, and a Slamped champion. Chopang Victor Tangton, a soccer captain, a senior mentor, and a computer science organization secretary. Anvita Tharakesh, 3 times UNT President's List recipient. Insia Tinwala, TAMS Medical Society president and a senior mentor. Ariane Varanasi, a 3-time UNT President's List recipient, National Merit Finalist, and a founding engineer at Explore Interfaces. Simran Verma, a National Merit Finalist, captain for the TAMS soccer team, and president of Hope. Vedya Venumathula, the Ruplay photography director. Edve Vias, an Eagle Scout, the president of Ballet, and a Pokeris Dance Club member. Olivia Wong, the Hope Social Coordinator, the Prince Jones Memorial Scholarship recipient, and a National Merit Finalist. Samantha De Gorostiza Wise, FACES Social Coordinator, 4-time President List recipient, and an undergraduate biochemistry researcher. Shuhan Wu, Rita Shing, Claire Shu, served as the Hope Executive, Revive volunteer, and spoke at the Girl Up Period Rally. Emily Yao, Executive of the Vibe and Mu Alpha Theta Senior Mentor, and it's my 18th birthday today. Happy birthday, Emily. Aaron Yawar, TAMS Business Organization President, Texas State DECA Vice President. Haley Yu, Logan Yu, bronze medalist for the iGEM Research Competition, co-author of a synthetic biology paper, and the TAMS Academic Society Secretary. Donovan Zhang, submitted research to the SC24 Conference, President's List recipient, and a committee head for the Teen Court and Open Source Committee. Ashley Zhao, TAMS Academic Society President, Vibe choreography head and the President's List recipient. Amy Jia Zhao. Kelly Manlin Zhu. Everest Zimmerman. A National Merit Finalist, the Volunteer Coordinator for Profile, and a President's List recipient. Join me in recognizing all of these outstanding scholars.
Well, congratulations again, class of 2024. This is exciting. When I came to TAMS almost 10 years ago, I was utterly impressed by the academy and the team that my predecessor had built, and that included Mr. Russ Tuchel, who was the Director of Student Life in TAMS, and who is retiring at the end of this month. Russ had already played an important role in the lives of more than 4,000 students, and maybe closer to 6,000 by now. He had witnessed and implemented numerous changes over the years and helped document many things we learned over the years in the form of what you see now as rules in your student handbook. Most importantly, I should point out that Russ exemplifies many of the attributes that we want to help our students develop. Creativity, love and respect for people, the ability to listen well, and the leadership skills that enables him to work with others and to build teams, even as people change and they move on from one position to a new opportunity. So let's take a moment to recognize Russ for his work, especially for his work with the class of 2024. We have seen many of our students develop these positive traits that I just mentioned about Russ, and that is what we expected. Starting with your selection for admissions to TAMS, we had little doubt of your future success. Although some of you might have made our academic advisors work a little harder, we consistently admit very capable students. And sometimes we reject extremely impressive students, and because we look at the whole person and their ability to work with others. And when I mentioned that we have turned away students with a perfect SAT, it's not a joke, it's the truth. That is to say that you brought your talent and a good academic foundation to TAMS, and I like to think that here you found opportunities to further develop intellectually, through rigorous courses, research experiences, and stimulating exchanges of ideas amongst yourselves. I'm not sure that every thought was worth exchanging as teenagers, but you did share some good creative ideas with each other. Sometimes I say that TAMS is where talent meets opportunity, and I believe you experienced that. I am confident that this class, like your predecessors, will leave its own mark on the world through positive contributions, as Dr. Phipps intimated earlier. and others have done before you. You will have distinguished careers like previous TAMS students who have excelled as professors, inventors, engineers, entrepreneurs, lawyers, judges, investors. Whatever you find to be the right fit for you, I'm sure you will be able to make contributions in those areas. In the past, TAMSters who did not find a field that was a great fit for them ended up creating a whole new field. And that was the right thing for them to be able to make a difference and contribute to the body of knowledge and to serve humanity. Yes, your intellect and the opportunities you have already had to point to the likelihood of a tremendous future. But remember that we were looking for more than intelligence when we selected you. And we wanted to offer more than the development of the mind. Our goal was to offer you a holistic education. And I believe we have done that. A holistic education challenges you to develop as a person, so that students who enter the academy as teenagers leave as young adults of character, who value other individuals, make ethical decisions, develop leadership and communication skills, and adopt a mindset of service. Again, I can point to many of your predecessors who are known for their generosity, kindness, and selflessness, and I am confident that this class as well will make the world a better place, not only because of your ingenuity and creativity, but also because of your values, not only because of your heads, but also because of your hearts. In the last 2 years, you learned to value and respect others while living with people who were very different from you, with different worldviews, politics, culture, ethnicity, and religion. You enjoyed a great deal of unity in your community in spite of differences. In fact, most alums tell me that was the most memorable aspect of their experience in TAMS. That it was not the amazing things they learned or developed in a lab, but it was the community and the lifelong friendships they developed. Exactly the area that Russ dedicated his life to develop for you and with you. I trust that you will carry what you learned in classrooms, labs, and in McConnell Hall with you, and that your interactions will make a difference in a world that needs reasoned and respectful people. I'm proud of how you've developed as human beings while at TAMS, and I am proud of what you have accomplished already, including this milestone we are celebrating today of graduating from TAMS. So congratulations, class of 2024. Now we will transition to a portion of the ceremony that many of you have been waiting for. Let me start this segment by saying that if your tassel is on the left side, you jump the gun. Okay, so you must put it back on the right-hand side now. Turning your tassel to the left will symbolize the conclusion of your academic endeavors at TAMS. We have a tradition for this part of the ceremony that symbolizes the fact that in TAMS we have a strong sense of community. So students collaborate and help each other. Rather than having you move your own tassel to the left, we ask that you do that for each other. So students, please face your neighbor or stand up. Face your neighbor. If there is an odd number of students, I'm sure TAMS students are able to figure it out and work collaboratively. They studied odd numbers in math, okay? So at this time, please move your tassels. Free to celebrate. Congratulations. So congratulations, graduates. You may be seated for now. And guests, please remain at your seats until all students have exited. Students, please remain at your seat until the platform party leads you in procession. So thank you for coming today, and congratulations.